Yeah, because, well, you should have heard of him, but you never listened to the names of all the Temptations. So you didn't know.
Well, by the time I'm a teenager coming up into the world, Temptations have fallen out of favor.
No.
I mean, people still like them, but at the same time,
No, that's not true. When were you born?
79.
79. So the Temptations were at their height when you were born.
Exactly.
But they were still around until you got 12 years old and so forth.
Yeah, but not in Holly, Michigan.
Around the
My father
world,
who
dude.
fucking. But I lived in Holly, Michigan. There's no around the world in Holly. That's what you're not understanding. You think it's like
But
you're
people in Holly were up on music and art and shit. No?
not my family.
Oh, okay.
Like the only reason I know about Led Zeppelin or any of these other bands is because of my
Your
stepmom.
dad? Oh, your mom.
My
Your stepmom. Okay. She
My
was
dad
rock
is
and
a
roll.
straight fucking country.
In all country all
My
the time.
stepmom is the country now too, but
But he was country all the time.
yeah, you guys don't want to plug that. Oh, he was straight up country. And like he was like Led Zeppelin, all that shit. The issue was the Uncle Dean can attest to this. Who says hello, by the way.
What's up, Dino?
Uncle Dean can attest to the fact that, like, he was anti, because it was drugs in his mind.
Yeah.
Because he's some stupid conservative that thinks.
Well, the media gave him that, made him think like that.
So, but at the same time, one of his favorite people was Eric Clapton.
Yeah.
Like, that's completely ignoring the fact that the dude literally disappeared from the world because of heroin.
Well, for a few years.
Yeah, I know, but that's not the point. The point is you're completely ignoring the fact.
Well, that's your idol, so you're gonna look past certain things.
Yeah,
That's what people do.
he was a huge Bee Gees fan,
Okay.
and I mean, I understand why I like Young Thug.
Young Thug.
I love Young Thug. Have you ever heard Young Thug?
Yeah, I know who he is.
He's got that fucking Elton John type of voice.
Huh?
High.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
always like a Bee Gees, always high, always a high pitch, and I love Elton John. I love like that kind of like high beat, good flow.
Right.
Like, cause that's the thing about Elton John. When you listen to those albums, it's not just the shit flows, man. The dude knew how to rock.
Oh yeah. Especially that first album. And the second.
Did you know he was gay?
Yeah. We could tell he was gay from the very beginning.
So, like, you could tell, but do you think, like, how, like, because there's so many people who are anti-gay.
A lot of people found out later on.
Yeah.
They didn't figure it out.
Like-
They just thought he was flamboyant.
Yeah.
But his flamboyancy in the black community was gay flamboyance.
That's how he acted. He was more free to the black.
Oh, when he first started, he was really free. He wore the most gayest outfits.
I know, which would tell you that he was gay, but no one ever said he was. They pretended like all those songs, like Rocket Man and all this other shit, were fucking for women.
Because back then, it was best to keep it quiet. And that's,
Keep looking at that, motherfucker. You gotta keep checking on. No one's saying
I
that.
just checked.
Okay.
There's nobody else out
Well, I
there.
know it was best to keep it quiet because you had a bunch of bigots running around spewing hate because they were afraid to suck a dick.
It's just like they had everybody fooled about Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson was some He-Man, he made all these movies with Doris Day where he was the He-Man, and everybody thought he was the He-Man. Then he died from AIDS.
I don't know who Rock Hudson
Did-
is. I don't think I've ever watched a movie with him in it.
You probably, when you were young, you saw movies with him.
I might have.
He was in tons of movies.
Again, not when I was young. He wasn't in movies in the 80s. He was already dead.
No, I don't think so. I think he died in the mid-80s.
Okay.
Or the late 80s.
Yeah, that's
He died from AIDS. And the thing that blew my mind was when I found out Gomer Pyle was married to him.
They were married. How were they married? Well, I mean,
They were married. They kept it quiet.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to talk to Justin about that.
Oh yeah, Jim Nabors, he's gay. He was married to Rock Hudson They said Rock Hudson used to have these parties at his house, and there would be nothing but men.
Yeah. I mean, that kind
So
of.
everybody was shocked when they found out he had AIDS. Everybody thought he was, you know.
Was it the same way with Freddie Mercury? Again,
Not really.
I'm assuming.
Because you kind of had you had a little bit of a vision of him being gay from the way he acted and the way he dressed. He was like Elton John in that dress department.
Yeah.
And he had that high voice.
I think of them as revolutionaries, like
They were
Rick
groundbreakers.
James.
They were groundbreakers, yes they were.
Rick James was a groundbreaker in a different sense, but
No, see, a lot of people don't know Rick James wrote some rock songs that other people performed. Rick James was a prolific songwriter.
see, I knew he liked weed. Like I assumed he liked weed, but I didn't understand the balls that this dude portrayed until I heard it. Like,
Who, Rick James?
yeah,
Man, he was like R&B royalty.
I mean, the way he just did what he wanted.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
He just did what the fuck he wanted, and well, you know, shit came back on him eventually. But yeah, he was just an arrogant, flamboyant motherfucker. He was arrogant and flamboyant. And didn't give a fuck who he. They said he'd walk into a party and walk up to a white chick, maybe like a blonde, really pretty white chick, and just lick her face. He wouldn't ask her.
what?
No, this dude, he was something else, man. I'm telling you.
That's some weird shit right there.
Oh, he was a motherfucker in his heyday.
I was just talking about the fact that he smoked weed constantly, even in public.
He smoked weed. Well, he didn't do cocaine in public, but he,
No.
he did cocaine at parties. People saw him do it.
Yeah, but that's different. Like, still, taking a joint in the fucking 70s and going on stage with it, that's dangerous as fuck. Dude, you could get lifetime for
But a
that.
lot of people did it.
Did they?
Many entertainers, man, I can't tell you how many concerts I went to in the 70s, and motherfuckers was smoking weed right on stage. Nobody say shit.
Huh.
They were celebrities.
True. But still.
I'm not saying that they had some run-ins with the police on a couple of occasions, but they were arrogant, big
I
money.
guess it would be depend
See,
on the town.
these guys were the first guys that started making like $30,000 a concert, $40,000 a concert. You know, they had money up to yin yang. When I worked security at the Fox Theater, we had a few of the rock groups come in, big names. Everybody was big name at the Fox Theater. They didn't have no lightweight motherfuckers. And we did bodyguards for a lot of them. And they just want to go to a restaurant or go back. They wanted to find out who sold exotic clothes in Detroit. At the time, there was a place on Woodward called Showtime.
Uh-huh.
And they sold like rock type expensive clothes. So when, was it Aerosmith? I think it was Aerosmith that were here. And they asked about a place. I said, I know a place. Because I always get, went in and looked at those clothes. I always wanted, but it was too expensive for me.
Uh-huh.
So I took them over there and they spent about, I think they took about $15,000 in like half an hour.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Jesus.
They bought pants and llama vests and,
They had that much shit in stock? 15,000?
Oh, that dude, oh yeah, he had his stuff imported from England. He had stuff nobody else, he had stuff you couldn't find anywhere but at his shop.
Really?
Yeah. His shop was back then I just didn't have a lot of money, so I only got a couple of things from there, but I wanted everything he had in the fucking place.
Back then it was Detroit Rock City, wasn't it? It's not like that anymore, is it?
What do you mean?
Like they called it Detroit Rock City because the bands always came
They
through
still
there.
call it that. If you're into rock, it's still that. It'll always be that.
I guess rock's just not as big as it used to be.
It's pretty big, man.
Then name me the number one rock band.
Right now, it's a couple of them. I'm trying to think of the name. Uh, I'm trying to think of one of the biggest ones. The name is on the tip of my tongue. Damn, it's right on the tip of my tongue. And as soon as I say it, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Not Nickelback. They're pretty popular.
They're still around.
Oh yeah, they're bigger than ever right now.
Well, they're not really rock though. They're more pop.
No, I say they're pop rock or rock pop.
It's like hockey. No one knows anybody in hockey.
This name is right on the tip of my tongue.
So I'm watching the playoffs a little bit, like I'm in a commercial.
The basketball playoffs?
No, NHL playoffs.
Oh yeah, okay. I was watching them too.
So I have no idea who these people are, but these two people, one's like it'd be me and you standing next to each other. One dude's like a 5'9", the other dude's like a 6'3". So it's like he's tall, one dude's big, and the big dude's got a baby on his chest, who's like 6 months old, maybe 7.
What is all those harnesses?
Harnesses got him on his chest, and they're standing at the rink watching a hockey game happen, right? And the short guy goes, "Did you get him skates yet?" And the guy goes, "No, not yet." He goes, "Oh, mine was skating at 6 months."
Damn!
And then he says some shit like, "Yeah, you gotta start him early." And then he went on about how like,
I'm at the restaurant eating breakfast. Hey, I want some breakfast.
yeah.
That's neat.
Mm-hmm. So he basically, you see this little like 7-8-year-old kid check an adult into the like
Into the boards. Yeah.
He's like, "Go, son." And then he looks at him and goes, "Well, you better start a retire like a education fund for college. Like, you're not gonna have a chance." I had no idea who those two were. The two people talking.
Yeah.
They're like the two best players on a fucking
In the NHL?
on a dynasty. Like a team that's literally won three Stanley Cups in the last 10 years, has been to the finals 4 times. It's just been like they talk about them like they're this masterful dynasty, and I had no idea who those two people were. And the one dude's like the star of the show, like one of the main guys.
Yeah. Well, you obviously you haven't been watching hockey that closely.
Well, they're horrible at fucking promoting too.
Yeah, well, hockey is a problem. Well, I know it's gonna sound crazy. Did you know a black guy started hockey in Canada?
Okay.
Did you know that?
I didn't know.
I just found out last week.
I just found out the other day that fucking Canada invented football too.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's what Dave Grohl said. And he
Who said it?
Dave Grohl. It was a commercial about from Canadian whiskey or something like
So
that.
he's saying that baseball
No, he's saying
was
hockey,
created.
basketball, and football were both created in, all three were created in Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
That's possible. We do have Canadian football,
Well, I mean, yeah.
and it's been around a long time. It's not nothing new.
No. No, the Roughnecks have been there for a minute.
But the game's not like it. The game used to be more exciting.
What?
Hockey.
Oh, didn't? Have you seen it lately? They're fast, man.
Yeah, they're fast.
What, is exciting because there might be a fight?
It seemed like there was more rivalry back
Okay.
in the day than it is now.
You know why?
No.
I guarantee you it's because, for one, the pool of children that they're picking from is very small. So they've known each other since they were kids, most of them.
Yeah,
A lot of them
well, see-
grow up together. So again, on top of that, the rivalries are there. We just don't know about them because the Red Wings suck. There's
Well-
no one to rival with. There's
well,
teams
no.
that are actually rivals out there that we just like.
It's not as competitive as
Yes, it is. It's way more competitive. That's my point.
It was more physical back then. I put that.
Oh.
They're faster now, without a doubt, because the skates have improved and the ice is better.
The players have improved.
Yeah, of course they have.
The athlete that's playing hockey now compared to the athlete that played it in the 70s is completely different.
Completely different. They would annihilate these guys now. They would kill these guys now.
They wouldn't even come close because they'd never touch them.
Oh yeah, they would.
No, they wouldn't. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they would.
You have no. You're talking about Bobby Orr was 5'9".
I know, but they were bigger guys than that. They were bigger enforcers than Bobby Ewing.
There were enforcers, but they couldn't skate.
They did.
The
weren't
reality
there.
is now.
They weren't there to skate. They were
I
there.
understand that, but you're never gonna fucking catch the guy if he's fucking. And on top of that, the motherfucker's 6'3", your size, and he can skate.
Yeah.
That's the difference. The enforcers now can skate. They just don't enforce because there's no reason to. The game.
Because they softened the game.
No, they made
just
it
like they do with football.
They made it again. Softened is one thing, but making it safer is another thing. Football didn't soften the game. They made it safer. It's not a fucking smart sport anyway. They're literally causing brain damage to children. That's literal fact. You know that, right?
Well,
like the moment you start your kid at fucking 12 years old playing football, if he plays through high school, he's gonna have brain damage.
Yeah, that's not just with football. That's what other sports do.
But with football, it's a lot worse.
Yeah. Well, that's why they changed it. It's not as physical.
Again, you still have brain damage. It's still happening. There's still hits. It's just not the dirty shit. You don't have a dude running around like this with a fucking arm and clotheslining the guy. You have a guy actually having to make a fucking tackle and not kill the dude. Because again, if we're wrestling, that's one thing.
I watch football all this weekend, and I saw so many.
Hold on, you're talking about fucking XFL. That is not football.
I'm talking about USFL, and I'm talking about NFL. I'm talking about all of them.
Okay, the NFL was fucking not going on this weekend. It was the draft. The XFL and the USSFL have all the dudes that can't make a fucking pro team.
Some of them did. They got cut. Oh no.
Yeah, they got cut because they were good. That's my point. So you're dealing with the best players in this league are the ones that are getting cut from the worst teams. So yes, they're going to be better than me.
Well, they're getting cut from good teams too.
That's fine, but they're still getting cut and not getting picked up by the bad teams.
Because there's not enough teams for players.
That's
that's why we have USFL. That's why we have XFL.
There's not enough talent to fill the fucking NFL as it is.
Oh, there's enough talent.
No.
Sure is.
There is literally 5 fucking quarterbacks that are actual talented quarterbacks in this league right now.
No, it's more than
No. Hold on. Oh, crazy.
that. Go to your phone. What's going crazy?
No.
Oh.
I was getting to a point where it was running out of action. Anyways, I'm of the belief that the NFL is losing its talent pool. Why play in the NFL when you can play in the fucking NBA, or you can play, because the NBA is actually getting itself in a minor league. So it's going to actually have other avenues towards the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're doing the same thing football did.
Football didn't do it though. That's the thing. Their fucking only way that their whole thing is basically let the fucking college groom our children into football players.
But you know, now that they got the portal and all that shit, everything's changed.
Oh, of course it has. It's given players the right to choose.
And the right to make money that they weren't making before.
Right? Still
Because
fractions of a
these
percent.
colleges, universities were making billions of dollars.
They still are.
Oh yeah.
And
But
the
now
players aren't getting
But
any
now
of
they're
it.
gonna have to pay some.
No, the players aren't getting any of that money. All the money has to come from an outside source. So it has to be someone like what happened now, so what's happened is TikTok people, because again, if you were an NCAA athlete, you could literally not work at fucking McDonald's. You couldn't have a job. Any job.
That's what they decided to give them some.
Then they said, hey, there was players who had TikTok deals going into college and they fought it and won because they were making more money at TikTok than they would have in most situations. So again, they won and got it to a point where now TikTok can pay you, Instagram can pay you, but also the fucking local whatever it is, Ford dealership can use your likeness now to actually, where before they couldn't do that.
Right.
So again, it gives kids an option, but you're not getting the money from the fucking, like, you're not making any of that billions that the fucking company, and it's not billions, it's millions, but the whole...
What you talking about, universities?
Universities.
The big universities is billions.
Oh, I don't know if it's billions.
Michigan, yes. I read an article about it not long ago. Michigan, Ohio State, the big ones, and about 3 colleges down south, They've made billions, not millions. They pay these coaches $9 million and $8 million.
Oh yeah, I know.
Shit.
The coaches are making bank. Yep. Oh yeah.
And they were selling jerseys. These different guys and making big money off of that.
South
too.
Park was amazing. They did a great fucking episode about that. They called it the Baby Crack Olympics. Go ahead. I don't want that either.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. So it was called. Cartman was going to crack the medical wards that had crack babies, and he was having them fight over crack balls and videotaping it. And he was trying to figure out how to get paid without having to pay the players. So he went to the fucking NCAA, like in Colorado. And
Of course he did.
And he's like, how you, and he's dressed up in a fucking, like you would think of, he's got a hat on.
Like a businessman?
No, like a fucking oil businessman.
Okay,
from
gotcha.
Texas. So he's
Right.
got the Longhorn hat on. And he's
Yeah.
trying, ooh, that's what you call it. Ooh, that's the word you use. That's how you should say it. Good idea. Guy's like, no, we don't, blah, blah, blah. Kids get their education. Oh, yeah, makes sense. Like, making fun. And, I mean, it's a hard thing because, I mean, it's not a hard thing. Pay the fucking players.
Pay the players that see these billionaire club owners, and they're all billionaires. Nobody owns a professional team that's not a billionaire. You can't buy a team.
Actually, there's one person that does. The Bus family aren't billionaires.
The who?
The Bus family, the ones that have owned the Lakers since the 70s.
They aren't billionaires.
Hold on.
Yes, they are.
No, they're minus if you take away the Lakers.
That's
So,
a big takeaway.
I know, but the point is everyone else, you're right, they have $1 billion on top of the Lakers. They don't. They're like their net worth is like $500 million on top of the Lakers. They don't have there's
Well,
Steve
$500
Ballmer.
million is a nice chunk of change.
But Steve
Was that
Ballmer.
$500 million?
Yeah, but Steve Ballmer, you know who Steve Ballmer is, right?
Right.
He's the guy that owns the Lakers, or the Clippers, the LA Clippers, right?
Okay.
But his thing is, he was Microsoft. He started Microsoft with Bill Gates. It's the pump. It'll finish.
No, I just heard something.
Yeah, it's not.
No. Snoop Dogg is getting ready to want to buy a hockey team. Did you hear about that?
Oh, probably ownership in the team, yeah. I can see that. Maybe the land.
What team was it? It's a Canadian
Kings.
team.
The Kings, maybe? The LA Kings?
No, it's a Canadian team
Huh.
that he's buying. He's trying to buy.
All right, well, either way, Steve Ballmer gets a check every year from Microsoft
Mhm.
for around $700 to $800 million dollars.
Mhm.
So he gets more in a yearly check from Microsoft than the Bus family has in total assets.
Oh, okay.
That's my point. Like, there's differences in ownerships.
Why
What?
are you fucking with me, Flo?
Yes, they're all rich to an extent,
Yeah.
especially since you have the team. You can take money off it because it's going to make its money. All right, that's it. 20 minutes.
All right, homeboy. So I'm not working again until Sunday? Or